Hey everybody, this is Rich Formidoni from Korg USA. We're here at Nova Music, and I've got an MS-20 module connected to an SQ-1 step sequencer. So let's take a look at the top panel of the MS-20 module kit. On the left side are your two voltage-controlled oscillators with portamento, master tune, pulse width, and pitch controls. You can also see that there are new sync and FM switches. Next to that is the mixer and filter section. These are the famous voltage-controlled filters of the MS-20, and now you can select from revision 1 or revision 2. Below that are frequency modulation controls for both filter and pitch. Next up is the modulation generator with frequency and waveform controls. When not patched to do something else, envelope generator number 2 will control the level of the oscillators. To the right is the famous patch panel. The MS-20M also has a few new patch points that were not in any other version of the MS-20 and previously only existed as popular modifications. Below that is the external signal processor, and below that is the new junction section, where you have 3 sets of 4 connections that allow you to connect the MS-20M to other gear and replicate patch points on the MS-20M itself. The MS-20M is kind of like the ultimate version of the MS-20 because it contains lots of features that were very popular modifications on other iterations of the MS-20, and it also has a lot of new tricks up its sleeve. For example, here's oscillator sync. And that oscillator sync is really cool because when you change the scale and waveforms that you're using, the tone changes completely. So oscillator sync is great. There's also frequency modulation. So we'll turn that on. And then use the frequency modulation controls to vary it. And just like with sync, when you change the scale and waveform settings of the oscillators, the tone completely changes. Another cool feature is that you can now select from the 2 different filter revisions of the MS-20 right from the top panel. So here's revision 1. And here's revision 2. Let's crank up the resonance and listen again. Here's number 1. And here's 2. So you have both different filters to choose from. Looking at the patch panel, we see that there's a brand new pulse width modulation input. I'm going to connect my modulation generator to that jack and select a pulse wave on the first oscillator. And I'm going to lower the second oscillator so we just hear the first one. So that pulse width sweep is now possible right from the patch panel. Another great new feature of the MS-20 is that you can now connect gear that supports the volts per octave standard as well as the MS-20's hertz per volt. So right here you can see there's a VCO 1 and 2 CV input volts per octave. Right now I've got that connected to our SQ-1. This junction section on the bottom of the patch panel is incredibly useful. As you can see, we've got it connected to the CV and gate outs of the SQ-1, and that leads to the trigger in and control voltage input on the MS-20. So the nice thing about these is that they support both 1/8 inch and 1/4 inch. So you can connect the MS-20M right up to your Eurorack stuff with no conversion tools needed. So for people that have modular synths, this MS-20M fits in perfectly with your setup with no additional hardware. Like our other recent versions of the MS-20, the MS-20 module kit also has USB and MIDI capabilities. So it hooks up to your analog gear, hooks up to your studio, pretty much MS-20 wherever you need it. The MS-20 module is a kit. It comes disassembled and you get to put it together, from attaching all the pots to screwing in these beautiful wooden side panels. It's really easy to put the MS-20M together. You don't have to be an engineer. If you can use a screwdriver, you can do it. And it's actually a lot of fun. Also, the MS-20M comes bundled with an SQ-1. And don't worry, that's already put together. So that is the new MS-20M kit and SQ-1 bundle. For great deals on this and all other Korg stuff, please visit Nova Music. Once again, I'm Rich Formidoni. Thanks very much for watching.